My name is Juan Diaz. I'm a musician in the group Sones de Mexico ensemble. We specialize in Mexican traditional music. We wanted to talk a little bit about how these huéhuetls were made. These drums are carved out of a single piece of wood, a tree trunk, and it's hollowed out. You can see it in this small one. They're just chiseled out. These carvings came from the Aztec stone carvings from archaeological records. I picked different ones for these drums, and they were carved by Laura Herendira Rivadeneira in Mexico. She does clay work and woodwork. I sent these designs to her by mail. She laid them on top of the tree trunk, the wood, and she traced them with carbon paper. And then with a chisel, she began to carve away all the wood around them. Then I brought the drums to Chicago on an airplane, just pay the excess baggage, and I spent about 4 hours in Dallas, Fort Worth, going through the agricultural department, making sure that these were kiln dried, that there were no bugs or larvae like in the wood, so they could pass. So they passed all the tests. We don't want any longhorn beetles attacking our trees here in Chicago, but these were kiln dried, so they were fine. Then we selected the colors that we wanted to use for these, and my mother, who's a painter, her name is Rosa Maria Cobos, she painted the drum. She actually did all this work, and it took her, probably 10 days to do all the work, very intense and detailed work. The next step was to reinforce the drums, and during the trip from Mexico, some of these cracked, and it wasn't really by being mishandled by the airline, but I think it was a change of humidity. The wood was still drying, so there's some hairline cracks. And I took a power drill with a cutting saw, and it began to cut around the edge, so I could embed a wire around them to keep them from separating in case they broke anymore. Then the next thing, I have this attachment to make the holes where the pegs were going to go. These are drumsticks. They're ends of drumsticks. They're sharpened, and the holes were created with this tool that prevents the drill bit from going too deep. And you can set the angle that you want and the depth, and it will only go to a certain distance. So the holes were made this way. The skins were rawhide. They're cow skin, and we dipped these in water in the tub for a few hours until they became soft, and made holes around them to tie rope, and then they were stretched over the top, and the rope was tied at the bottom, and we used a stick to get the right tension for them. Then the pegs were put in, and we let it dry for a little bit, and then we cut the excess of the rawhide. So once it dries, it becomes a hard shell again, but now it's a tension. And these respond to humidity a lot, so one day this one may sound really low or really high depending on the humidity. You don't really have the ability to tune them up or down. If you need to tune them up, you can put some heat source at the bottom, like a candle or an electric blanket on top, or you can set them out in the sun and they will rise. If you need them to lower the tone, you can moisten the skin with a rag or put a little moisture, and that will bring the tone down. And that way you can tune them with a little patience.